TCL, who bought the rights to manufacture phones under the Blackberry name, recently announced that they are killing their Blackberry lineup and they're not going to do it anymore. So what better way to celebrate than to check out what I would say is sort of a spiritual successor. This is the FX Tec Pro 1, and the model number is the QX1000. This is, yes, my friends, a slider phone with a physical keyboard. Now, I have not so much as had this out of the packaging, so we're gonna be experiencing it together. They've got all the supported bands listed on the back of the box here. This is the 128 gig ROM, 16 gig RAM model. First up, we've got a, whatever this is. Kind of reminds me of those horrible belt holsters that people used to have for their phones, except it doesn't go on your belt. It's just like a sleeve. Got one of those handy dandy modular wall warts. Wow, I've clearly lost my touch here. I swear I know how to do an unboxing. You know what, just forget it. Okay. Just get this out of here. All right, we've got a USB-A to Type-C cable. Oh, that's cute. The wall wart has that Razer green plastic insert. You know how much Razer claimed they paid to make that exclusive to their laptops? Apparently not enough. And now the phone itself. Immediate impressions. I want to say Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. From the front, it actually looks and feels very modern. It's got the 2D glass, so it's curved on the left and right edges. Feels actually surprisingly premium. And then the back, I don't know what it is, but some manufacturers manage to make their phones out of cheap plastic and have it feel premium, while others manage to make their phones out of solid metal and have it feel kind of cheap. So whether it's just how smooth it is, like there's kind of a lack of texture to it, or whatever else it is, the back definitely doesn't feel as nice as the front. Look at this difference in thickness, guys. You're basically clipping a keyboard to your phone, which if you use it often enough, there might be something to be said for that. All right, it defaults to English UK. You know what? I like the Queen's English as much as the next Canadian. Got a fingerprint reader. Let's find out where it is. Apparently it's on the right-hand side of the phone. Oh, there. Oh, that's kind of an odd spot for a fingerprint reader. You know, I don't actually mind it though. So it's right under the lock button. One thing I don't like about having the fingerprint reader on the side is that sometimes if you want to unlock with your left hand, it can be kind of a pain in the butt, but I think I could get around that with this one if I just go, okay, well, my lock button's my index, and then my middle finger is going to be my fingerprint reader. They've actually opted for Google's latest gesture-based control schema, also known as the iPhone control schema. Now, this is the thing I was saying was nasty before. Can you hear that sound, David? And I don't even have to hit it hard. I bet I could turn off the haptic feedback and I'd still have that issue. Is there a lock or something? Oh, lordy, what does that button do? Oh, cool, it's got a dedicated shutter button. I'm gonna take a couple pictures here. Oh, wow, that is horrible. Andy's got two chins, you know? No, Andy, it's fine. You're good, you're good. It's just this picture. It's this picture, this, you know? Does this camera make me look fat, you know? Like this camera makes you look fat. It's not, I'm backing myself into a corner here. It's been a while since I've seen image processing this bad. Wait, what? Oh! So I thought it was more of a slider, but it's actually more of like a flip up, as that hinge feels great. Like shockingly solid. Like listen to the sound of it. Okay, if I hold the base steady, because like, you know, obviously it's still a phone. Like, that's pretty good. I'm impressed. Theoretically, having tactile buttons is a big advantage because you can feel your way around the keyboard, but anything you gain from your tactile buttons, you lose in having to press auxiliary keys like Shift or control or, another layer to access your special characters for emojis or whatever else. Look at this. It's got little nipples for the F and the J, as though you're like intended to type on it. But even with my little homunculus hands, that is a seriously not happening kind of situation. Okay, let's be more realistic. I'm gonna type with my thumbs. Oh, did I get a double press there? I think these died for a reason. Oh man, why do they have this gigantic caps lock? Interestingly, the lock button and the fingerprint sensor are on the back when you're in keyboard mode, so they're kind of not that easy to get at. All right, it's still way faster for me to use a touchscreen. Now, one argument that I have heard for physical keyboards on phones is people who do a lot of remote server administration, for example, using an app like Pulseway. But the thing is, compared to pressing a secondary function button and then trying to find a special character, I find, particularly with some third-party keyboards like the one I use, if you change the long press delay, you can access your special characters actually much faster. Cool hinge, keyboards are still stupid, camera's terrible. Maybe I should apply the system update and see if that fixes all the problems that I have miraculously. Most of the things I don't like about it are things that are obviously not going to be good on anything other than a tier 1 smartphone. Things like the camera. And it has some redeeming qualities. It does have a headphone jack, which is pretty nice to see. It's got stereo speakers. Speaker left, speaker right here. It's got USB Type-C for charging, which is a lot better than we used to see on these kind of rando phones in the past. And like I said before, hey, this hinge is really nice. If you're after a physical keyboard, I haven't seen anything in the market that exists that's better than this. And of course, you don't have to use it all the time. What is this game called? Typing Defense. Okay, here we go. Abs. Bow, 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 bow. How's my castle doing? Drug? Beer? What is this game? I was probably too hard on it before. It's not that bad. And this is another thing that's improved a lot on basic devices over the years in the screen. It's actually surprisingly usable. I'd say the factory calibration is a little bit on the warm side out of the box, but other than that, it's pretty sharp, the contrast is pretty good. The fact that this is like a pentile display, you're getting a little bit of like fringing around high contrast areas like these white characters on this dark background, because it is only 1080p. Now let's get to a couple of the forgot to mentions. It's got a 3200 milliamp hour battery. This is Android Pie, and it's basically very, very stock looking, which I like. And of course, it's got a Snapdragon 835 processor. Wait, what? Snapdragon 835? Oh yeah. And the list price right now is somewhere between $650 and $700 US. Now, if this was a feature phone and it was just like, okay, yeah, we've got this gimmick, we've got this great hinge, which really does feel great. Apparently it's rated for 100,000 openings and closes. It feels really nice. And we've got this physical keyboard and it's like $300 or something like that. If you really care about that feature, you might have my attention. But the fact that you're running an ancient top tier chip and you're priced at in between flagship killer, so something like a Poco F1, and something like a true flagship, like a Galaxy S or Galaxy Note series, on this old hardware, that's a pretty tough pill to swallow. Realistically though, if what you're after is a physical keyboard on your Android phone, you're basically gonna buy this because you can't really take your business elsewhere. And as far as the implementations that I've seen go, this is definitely not the worst. One thing they got right about the keyboard layout is the fact that all the essential keys are basically there, and that's a big advantage over the ones that try to flip the keyboard out this way, where it's just too cramped to be legitimately useful. I would have still liked to have that gap in the middle to make the typing a bit more comfortable, but then you would have compromised on having a familiar layout like that. So I don't think there's really one single right answer to that question. My answer is, I wouldn't switch over to this, and I probably wouldn't recommend that you do it either, but if you know someone who's really yearning for the physical keyboard, I was gonna say there are worse options out there, but there just aren't. So thanks for watching Short Circuit today on the Pro 1 by FX Tech. Guys, make sure you're subscribed. This is where we're gonna be doing all of our fun little casual unboxings of stuff that's like super cool and kitschy, but just doesn't quite justify a full Linus Tech Tips experience video.